What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel, J. Uncensored. Today, guys, I want to speak on the topic of the hopelessness in young men today. There has been a cloud that is just hanging over men in general, but particularly young men. And I've noticed it when I've been looking into my comments on this channel and on my second channel. And I've noticed that so much of the perspective of young men today boils down to what's the point? Whether it be financially, whether it be from a career perspective, whether it be from a dating perspective, men are just feeling like, what's the point? And I don't blame them in many ways. I don't blame them because so much about what it is to be a man, to be a well-rounded man, is so difficult to achieve nowadays. It's always been difficult for a man to achieve things in life, but it feels like everything that it is to be a man and to become a competent, well-rounded individual is like 10 times harder, especially for men, because so much responsibility and burden is put on us to become. Take finances, for example. Men are expected to be the providers. Men are expected to be able to take care of a family. Men are expected to have more money than the woman, to be able to take her out on dates and give her a certain lifestyle. Now, that is a very difficult thing for a lot of men to achieve, especially in 2025. I just made a video about the job market and it's crashing. People are getting fired left, right, and center. Wages are going down. People can't even get interviews. They're applying to so many jobs. Things are becoming more expensive as well. There's inflation. It's crazy out here. And yet men, despite the times, are expected to still rise to the occasion and meet the demands that women have, that society has of them. Be the provider. The standards haven't even gone down. Women expect way more money than they did back in the day. So things are harder and expectations are higher. And men are just asking themselves like, well, how am I supposed to do this? It's easier for them to be like, you know what? I'm just not even going to try to like be and live up to that standard. I'm just going to do me, make enough money to provide for me, and just stop trying to meet the societal goal of being the provider, making all this money. Because what's the point? How am I supposed to achieve all this? And I get that. There's also when it comes to women in dating. You know, women have changed drastically, as we all know, over the years. They're less submissive. They're less friendly. They're less of an asset. They're more of a liability. They have all these high expectations, but they rarely bring anything to the table that's even valuable. And a lot of men are just wondering, like, what's the point? Can I even find a virtuous woman? Can I even find a woman who doesn't have 10, 15, 20, 25 bodies? Can I find a woman who actually wants to have a traditional life? As men who are out here dating, you know how difficult it is to find women with that mindset. That used to be the prevailing mindset. Now it's rare to find a woman who truly wants to play the traditional feminine role. And it gets draining dating woman after woman, trying to find the girl with the right traits and attributes, who isn't indoctrinated by feminism, who doesn't want to be a boss babe, who isn't trying to usurp your authority in the relationship, who genuinely wants you to be the man so she can be the woman. And I'm not talking about those lazy chicks who just want a wealthy man so they can sit home and be pampered and post all their, vacations on Instagram. I'm talking about a woman who really wants to do life with you and play her role, in sickness and in health, to death do us part, for better, for worse, that whole thing. So rare. So many men have just given up on that. It's like, screw it. I'm done with dating. I'm done trying to take these girls serious. I'm done trying to find a wife. I'm done approaching. I'm done. It just feels like so much of what you want and so much of what you're expected to be is just out of reach. It just feels like there's this just huge chasm between you and the thing you want, and it just breeds this sense of hopelessness. Like I said, the prevailing narrative is, what's the point? I'm just going to focus on me. I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to live life to the best that I can and just try to find a sliver of happiness in this horrible existence. And this kind of mindset, like I said, I can't blame men for feeling the way that they do, because I understand. I'm a man. I'm going through the same stuff that you're going through in life. I get it. I get it, man. It's tough out here. And it can often, that hopelessness that we're feeling can really bring on a lot of depression. This is why I don't like feeling hopeless, because bro, like, depression is hot on the heels of hopelessness. You stop feeling like you should be putting an effort into pretty much anything, because what's the point? I can't even really achieve the goal at the level that I want to. Everything's an uphill battle, and I get it. Life's hard. I'm not saying that that's an excuse to give up. I'm just saying I get it. Like, it's okay to just say, I get it. Now, do I have some solutions here and there? Yeah, I do. But I can also just acknowledge that, life has become so difficult to be a man. And sometimes, bro, like, the battle, the uphill climb that is expected of you is just, it's just crazy. And sometimes you really do question, like, bro, why am I doing all of this? Like, even myself, bro, like, I've been dating like crazy, trying to find a decent chick. I finally found a girl who I'm dating now, and things are going great. So, that part of life has kind of worked itself out. But there's also still the financial aspect of things. I'm still hustling on that end, and that's an uphill battle. Like, it's difficult. And the financial burden is more on me than the woman. That's just life. So I have a greater, duty to figure this thing out financially than my girl does, than any woman does. And guys, we feel that. A lot of girls can't really relate to that, because even though they talk about how much money they make, or they'll brag about, going to school to get a career so they can make a lot of money, even if they make money, they're not expected to do anything with that money but, provide for themselves and do whatever makes them happy. We're expected to use our money for everyone else. So there's a burden, not just to provide for ourselves, but to provide for everyone close to us. And that's a lot. That's a lot, man. A lot of men are just feeling like, what's the point? Can I even become successful financially? Can I even find a decent woman? Can I even, live up to this societal expectation of what it means to be a man? Everything has become harder. And I get that. But I'm saying this because I want to encourage you guys. I know, as difficult as it is, don't give in to hopelessness, bro. I know it's easy to just fall back and just say, what's the point, and quit, throw your hands up, throw the gloves in, and just be done with it. Don't do that, bro. I've noticed that the men who do that, they just begin to spiral into depression, because you need a goal. You need something to be striving towards, to keep that positivity in you, to keep that light. You always got to have something that you envision for yourself. And if you just give in to, like, there's no point in dating. There's no point in trying to become financially successful. There's no point in going to school. There's no point in trying to scale the corporate ladder or whatever. You need a goal, and maybe that isn't your goal. But always have something that is within your control that you're striving towards. And yes, it's going to be difficult. The thing that you're striving towards may at times seem out of reach. Bro, like, creating a successful YouTube channel for me at times seemed out of reach. I finally got my other channel monetized and finally started making some revenue, but bro, that was a grind. And I'm not gonna lie to you, at times I felt like, what's the point? Now, the thing that kept me going was my desire to help men. That's something within my control. That's something that gives me joy. That's something that gives me a great sense of pride. When I see comments saying, thanks, man, I took your advice, that really helped. Or men will message me privately and be like, yo, I really appreciate you telling me that. That helped me avoid this situation down the line with this one chick. Or I picked up on that red flag that you were talking about, and I was able to avoid this huge, life-changing mistake. That gives me something to hold on to, and it keeps the hopelessness, the emptiness from setting in. So I urge you guys to find something that you care about, anything that you care about. Hold on to that. Never let that go, bro. Never let that go. And I know it's tough. I know it's tough to keep that same intensity when it comes to pursuing your goals, when it comes to trying to be successful financially, when it comes to dating. These things can be mentally and emotionally draining. But I promise you, giving up on it is so much worse. Falling into that what's the point mindset, that depression that follows that mindset, is so much worse. Losing that light, that ambition to keep moving forward, is so much worse than the difficulty of trying to attain the goal. So please, guys, I know it's tough out here to keep hopelessness at bay, but do your best. It's a struggle for all of us. That sometimes you'll go through days where you feel like it's tougher than others, but just stay with it. Keep that momentum. Hold on to that light. Hold on to at least one thing that's within your control that gives you joy, that brings you passion, that makes you want to get up in the morning, that gives you hope for the future. And I promise you, things will get better if you keep striving towards it. So don't give up. Don't give in to hopelessness. But that's all I had to say for this video, guys. If you got value from it, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, check out my second channel. It's Jay Randall. And on that channel, I give red pill commentary and give men tips and tricks to navigate the dating scene. And until next time, guys, take it easy.